The USS Oriskany. This mighty aircraft carrier was a fearsome presence in the wars of Korea and Vietnam. She hasn't served for more than 30 years. But now this 32,500-ton megastructure has one final duty: to sink and become a playground for divers as the largest artificial reef in the world.
It's like putting a legend on the bottom.
But this mission could be the toughest yet.
The Navy built this ship to be unsinkable.
Designed to stay afloat even after massive bombardment, aircraft carriers are almost impossible to sink. And no one's ever tried to turn one into a reef before.
Anything can happen.
To make her a safe dive site, a salvage crew is stripping out her poisons. But the clock is ticking.
They want to get this thing towed over to Florida before hurricane season kicks in.
Will the mighty Oriskany go quietly, or will she put up a fight?
These kind of accidents kill.
Can this giant floating fortress be scuttled? It's a high-stakes project to sink the unsinkable. Aircraft carriers are the largest, strongest, most impregnable ships afloat. Designed to withstand attack by air, ship, and even submarine torpedo. Docked at Corpus Christi, Texas, the decommissioned USS Oriskany is the first such vessel chosen for the US Navy's Artificial Reef program. A crack team of marine demolition experts will attempt to deliberately sink this giant ship to form a man-made artificial reef, attracting divers and tourism. But sinking one of the largest and most complex warships in the world will test the skills of this team to breaking point.
When this ship was constructed decades ago, there were thousands of engineers and shipbuilders who gave their best efforts to ensure that this ship would never sink. This is not a trivial task, and it will require almost as much effort as it took to build the vessel to finally sink the vessel.
The plan is to scuttle the Oriskany in 65 meters of water to form an outcropping for sponges and coral to colonize. This attracts recreational fishermen, a major boost to the local economy. But to make her an ideal site for shallow swimming divers, her highest point, the command tower, should be near the surface. That means the ship must settle upright. If she doesn't, the project will be a failure. It's January 2004. The first stage of the project is to identify toxic materials for removal from the Oriskany, so she won't poison the ocean environment. But after 30 years in storage, the Oriskany is in a decrepit state. She's full of lead-based paints, oil, aviation fuel, and asbestos. This'll mean thousands of hours of scraping, torching, and pressure washing. And they haven't even inspected all the rooms yet.
I've been crawling this ship hard for 3 months, about 10 hours a day, and just due to the sheer magnitude of the ship, I still come across every now and then a room that I've not ever seen before.
At 278 meters long and 45 meters wide, she displaces 32,500 tons. She's a huge and incredibly complex vessel, a floating city filled with every service that 2,600 crew members need to live and fight at sea for months at a time. She has 4 kitchens, sleeping quarters, hospitals, machine shops, and radar installations. Everything from dental offices and barber shops to shoe repairers and cinemas. The Navy's head man on site is Project Manager Don Herring. He's got the mammoth task of ensuring every single part of the ship is inspected and cleaned. To meet strict environmental standards, he has to literally crawl through thousands of rooms and 565 tanks looking for toxic waste.
Checking in the tanks to make sure there's no oil, no residual, no hydrocarbons type material left in the tanks. So when the ship's actually rigged, we don't even hazmat in the water.
Some areas are as large as an aircraft hangar, others as small as a coffin. and every single one must be made spotless. But that's just half of this mammoth project. They must also work out their sink plan to safely get the ship onto the bottom of the sea, exactly in the right place and standing upright.
I think the contractor put a good sink plan together. It's going to flood basically without any mechanical means. And they decide how much water she can ballast, how much displacement she can take on, how the water has to move, where it has to move, and when it has to move. Quite involved.
Involved is an understatement. Aircraft carriers are built to be unsinkable. Since World War II, no US Navy carriers have been sunk by enemy action. That's because they have 4-inch armor plates surrounding an inner core of over 1,000 rooms, each one capable of being shut off to prevent further flooding. To sink the Oriskany, each of these thousands of watertight spaces have to be breached. And even in her present state, the mighty O will put up a brave fight. The USS Oriskany is being prepared to be sunk, to become the largest artificial reef in the world. The project is now in full flow. Anything that can be salvaged is being removed. It's a tough job.
This is the starboard elevator. The planes are taken up this way.
But it's now a hazard.
Anything over the water like this is dangerous. The safety, this whole elevator is not worth anything if one man gets hurt. That's not worth it. So we take our time and do it correctly. It's interesting, the Navy built this ship to be unsinkable, so it's going to take a great job engineering to have it sink properly.